Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us have a quick quiz on the previous video what we have learned. So, yeah, okay. Now, let us start the quiz. I'll provide you the questions and answers as well. But before, you need to answer the questions and check whether you provided correct answer or not. If not, please rectify your answers so that it will be correct in next time. So now let us have question 1. So what is question 1, sir? Question 1 is, if I have so many servers in one room, if I have so many servers in one room, then what is that room is called? Then what do we call that room? What do we call that room? So what do we call that room? I hope you answered this question. Now let me provide you the answer. Data center. Data center. Or we can even say that as server room. What is that? Server room. Okay. Now let's have another question. So question 2. I hope you can answer it as well very easily. Is it easy to maintain the data center? Is it easy to maintain the data center? I hope you answered this question as well. The answer is no. It is not easy to maintain the data center. So let's have another question. Let's have another question. If you are handling your own data center, if you are handling your own data center, okay, yeah, then what do we call that data center? What do we call that data center? What do we call that data center? I hope you answered this question as well. So let me provide you the answer for this question. The answer is on premise. On premises data center. So on premises data center. We call that data center as on premises data center. Okay. What is on premises, sir? What is on premises? Let's have another question. What is on premises data center? If you are maintaining your own data center, then we can say that as on premises data center. Okay, let's have another question. In physical architecture of server, remember, in physical architecture of server, what is the what we have in the bottom? What we have in the bottom? So at the bottom of the architecture of a physical server, what is the thing which is at the bottom? Hardware. What is the thing? Hardware. What do we have? Hardware. Okay. Let's move on to next question. Question number 5. So on top of it, on top of hardware, what do we have? On top of hardware, what do we have? What do we have in physical server architecture? In physical server architecture, what do we have on top of our hardware? I hope you answered this question as well. We have OS. What is this OS, sir? OS stands for operating system. What are the thing that is Linux or Windows that we call as operating systems? Okay. On top of it, on top of operating system, what do we have, sir? On top of OS, on top of OS, what do we have in physical server? What do we have on top of OS? We have applications. We have our applications. What are the servers we want to run? Those applications we can create on top of it. Now let's move to next question. Question number 7. What is that? So this is the physical server traditional architecture, what we have followed till now. Then for each and every requirement, we are just moving a bit, upgrading ourselves, and based on the requirement, we are creating multiple servers, and then data center we created. From the data center, we created multiple data centers for multiple applications hosting. Now, for every requirement, it is hard to get new servers every time. Is it? Yeah. Now, for every requirement, it is hard to get new servers, right? Yeah. So now let's have a question. For each and every operation, it is hard to create physical servers. For each and every operation, for each and every application, it is hard to create, right? It is hard to create a new server. Is it? Is it right? Yeah. It is very hard to create new servers, new physical servers. Can you tell me, for each and every operation, is it hard to create virtual server? No, no, right? We can easily create a virtual server in 3 minutes, within 3 minutes. So how much time we take at minimum, we take just 3 minutes to create the virtual server. Is it hard to create a virtual server? No, right? It just takes me how much time? A max of 3 minutes. It takes me max of 3 minutes to create a virtual server. Coming to physical server, how much time does it takes to me? Minimum of 30 minutes. Minimum of 30 minutes it takes me to create. So I hope you answered these two questions as well. So let us move on for next question. What is the question? Then now previously we used in data centers in initial times we used what we used. So at the first time, to maintain 3 data centers, he is facing a high risk of maintenance as well. Then what does OMSI do? What does OMSI do to as an alternative for maintaining all this? He go for virtualization. He go for virtualization. So now the question is that which type of servers do we use for that? Then which type of servers do we use for virtualization? At the time of virtualization, which type of servers do we use? Virtual servers. I hope you answered this question as well. Virtual servers we used. Now let's move on for next question, that is question number 10. Now to reduce number of servers, to reduce number of servers, which migration, to reduce number of servers, which migration service we use? Which migration service we use to reduce number of servers during virtualization? Which migration service we use? We're converting physical server to virtual server, right? We call it as p2v migration. So p2v migration. I hope you answered this question as well. So let's move on for another question. Now the question is, what is p2v migration, sir? What is p2v migration? So what is p2v migration? p2v migration is nothing but migration of, or else we can say migrating the migrating the servers from where to where? Physical to virtual. We just migrating our servers from physical to where? Virtual. Now let's have next question. So the question is, how do I perform P2V migration, sir? How do I perform P2V migration? How do I perform, sir? Physical to virtual. How do I migrate, sir? I migrate by using what? Virtualization. By using virtualization, we can migrate. We can do P2V migration. Now let's move on for next question. So what is the next question? In virtualization, in virtualization, what is what is the machine? What is the machine where we host our virtual servers? Where we host our virtual servers. What is the machine where we host our virtual servers? So the machine is host machine. What is the machine? Host machine. So let's move on next question. The next question is, in host machine, in host machine. Let's say these are the questions from host machine. In host machine. So the question number is 14. So what is at the bottom? At bottom, what we have? At bottom, what we have? So in host machine, at the bottom, what we have? We have hardware. We have hardware only. So on top of it. So now question number 15, let us say. On top of it, what we have? What we have? On top of hardware, what we have in the host machine? We have hypervisor. We have hypervisor. So now let us move on to another question. Question number what? 16. So on top of hypervisor, on top of hypervisor, what we have? So what we have? On top of hypervisor, we have VMs that we can able to create VMs. So that's why VMs are present on the top of hypervisor. Okay. In one host machine, can we have multiple VMs? In one host machine, can we have multiple VMs? Yeah. In one host machine, we have multiple VMs. We can even create multiple VMs on single host machine, right? Yeah. So let's write it as another question. In one host machine, can I create multiple virtual machines? Is it true? Yes, right. So let's move on for next question. In one, in one, okay, let us have Another question. Is it possible? Is it possible for us to touch? Is it possible for us to touch VMs? That's the question. Is it possible for us to touch VMs? No, right? I hope you answered this question as well. So let's move for another question. That is question number 19. So what is this? So will that VM acts as a physical machine? Will whatever the VM that we created on hypervisor, will that acts as a physical machine? Is the question. So will that acts as a physical machine? I hope you answered this. Yes. It acts as a physical machine. We can even host multiple applications on it. Before virtualization, we have three data centers. After virtualization, we maintain those three data centers into one data center. Due to more projects, due to a lot of business, we need to create again three more data centers. So after virtualization also, we created three more data centers. So again, we arises the same problem of maintaining the infrastructure. So to avoid maintenance of the whole infrastructure by us, just to handle, to maintain, let's have a question in it. To maintain these servers, to maintain these servers with with less cost, to maintain these servers with less cost, to whom I need to use, to whom I need to use. So instead of maintaining these all and making management and need to provide security for them and need to provide staff for them. So instead of whole thing for the data centers, to whom I use to get these servers with less cost. Whom I use? AWS Cloud. AWS Cloud. So I hope you answered these all questions. So I hope you understood these questions as well. If you forgot any answer, then please make it clear so that it will be helpful for you in future interviews as well. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. See you back in the next video.